What's up, guys? My name is Gabe and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. We have some big emergency breaking news here. As you see up on your screen here from Connor Morissette breaking Jayden Maiava to start at QB for USC in 2 weeks against Nebraska. So there is a lot to this. I did expect this change to happen. I didn't expect the story to be out this early. But before we go any further here, I do have to say that I am heartbroken for Miller Moss. I do agree that this change had to be made at this point in the season, but to see USC fans, and namely other USC content creators, bashing Miller Moss, going after him personally, frankly, I find it gross. And just the overall dehumanization of Miller Moss on social media is completely unacceptable from USC fans. We absolutely need to be better as a whole there. But talking about this change, again, it is one that had to be made. The Miller Moss we saw shredding LSU in week 1, the Miller Moss we saw making incredible throws in that second half against Michigan, he's just simply gone. He looks like a broken quarterback. Years and years of being a Cleveland Browns fan, I have watched this happen to so many quarterbacks. They come in early and they're making great plays. We're winning a few games here and there. And then the hits start to add up. The bad habits start to develop. And again, we talked about it in the instant reaction. When you see quarterbacks and they start throwing a lot of picks, and they're happening in the middle of the field with linebackers, sort of in that underneath coverage, and the quarterbacks just don't see him, that means he's not seeing the field. He's seeing ghosts. He's trying to force it in there. Those are things Miller Moss was not doing earlier in the year. Whenever he did have an interception, it was because of a miscommunication with the wideout or just an inaccurate ball. What's happening now is he's not seeing the field. He doesn't know what he's looking at. And I believe that's why this change is being made now. Again, this is not week 1 Miller Moss. This is a completely different player. My heart breaks for him. He is making a lot of money. This is a results-driven business. But at the end of the day, he is a Trojan, and he battled each and every time he went out there in that Cardinal and gold uniform. So I just want to say thank you, Miller Moss. Wish you the absolute best in any path you take in life. But now talking about Jayden Maiava, he is going to be starting against Nebraska, UCLA, and Notre Dame. A massive 3-game stretch here. But when we look at this offense and we ask, what do we do well at this point in the year? We run the ball very well. Now with Jayden Maiava, the scheme is going to have to be adjusted for these last 3 games. We're not going to come out throwing the ball 50 times like we have been doing with Miller Moss. In my opinion, this is going to be a run-first approach, thank God. There's a lot of USC fans that don't know what an RPO is because they're saying that Miller Moss can't run RPOs. That couldn't be further from the truth. You do not have to have any mobility to run those. I just saw Joe Flacco running them with the Colts last night. But what this is going to add is a dynamic running threat in the read option game. It's going to allow Lincoln to run more QB power, maybe some GTQ counter. It's going to diversify the run game. We're going to be 11 on 11 as opposed to 11 on 10, because when your quarterback is an active participant in the run game, it just makes the defense have to be more honest. Now, what I will say, though, is that we're not just going to be running the ball. Nebraska has a stout run defense. They're going to load the box. They're going to bring those safeties down. Jayden Maiava is going to have to prove that he can beat the defense with his arm, that he can make good reads, that he can put the ball in the money. Because if he can't do that and we're running into loaded boxes, not much is going to change. So he's going to have to find a way to have success in the throw game. I know a lot of you are completely out on Lincoln Riley. I still trust him to design a good offense. I don't know what the hell happened in Seattle. That was an unacceptable performance from Lincoln Riley as a play caller. But I know I've said it like 3 times, but this change just absolutely had to be made at this point in the year. The season is over. We know Miller Moss is not going to be the quarterback next year. You have to see what you have in Jayden Maiava. So now let's talk best case scenario, worst case scenario, and what I think is going to happen. So best case scenario is Jayden Maiava is a stud. If we hit on him and we find our quarterback for next year, that's just going to be an absolutely massive win for this football team. Not having to go out and find a quarterback, not having to turn the keys over to a true freshman. The absolute hope is Jayden Maiava tears it up in these 3 games on the ground and through the air, and he proves that he can be QB1 going into next year. Worst case scenario is he hasn't grown out of the go-go offense from UNLV. He's not as great a running threat as we thought, and some of the atrocious decision-making we saw at UNLV follows him into this game. So that would be the worst case scenario. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think he's going to have some rough moments. I think there's going to be a really bad pick here or there, but I think he's going to flash. I think he's going to make some crazy plays with his legs. I think he's going to throw the ball up and give our guys a chance to go get it. Specifically, Jacoby Lane, I would look for him to have an uptick in production. Does this give us a better chance to win? I would say yes, it does. Do I know if we're going to win with Jayden Maiava? Absolutely not. Anyone that tells you they do know is lying. This team is unpredictable. This season is unpredictable. How Jayden's going to play is unpredictable. But if anything, it adds a massive amount of intrigue to a game against Nebraska that wasn't going to have much. These are two overall mediocre teams going head to head, and unveiling a new quarterback obviously gives us a massive edge. I also think the timing is a critical part of this. Look at when this is happening. We are just now starting our bye week. Like I said earlier, the scheme is going to have to be changed. The offense is going to have to be redone. That's really hard to do over the course of 1 week. You give Lincoln Riley and this staff 2 weeks, I totally think they can do it. Of course, you're going to see a lot of similar stuff from when Miller was the quarterback, but man, there's going to be a lot new run game. I think we're going to try to stretch the defense more vertically to open up the run game. Don't think we're going to be seeing 50 pass attempts from Jayden Maiava. If that happens, something probably went terribly wrong. But overall, this is a change that had to be made. My heart's broken for Miller Moss. I can't express my gratitude enough for what he gave us this year. That performance against Michigan is one of the toughest I have ever seen from a Trojan. And also so very excited to see what Jayden Maiava can give us. So guys, obviously we'll have more coverage on this during the week. If you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.